What's up, friends? It's your boy GP with DeOrganized Media, bringing you another awesome episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronauts into the same room, have a dope conversation about Bitcoin news, world news, alpha straight, fresh, hot off the presses. You name it, we got it with DeOrganized Media. I hope you had a very blessed start to your new week. High frequency vibes across the board. Some crazy stuff going on, man. U.S. bombing Iran, and in less than 24 hours after that, it's like now everybody's at peace, and Bitcoin dumped over the weekend, and it's back over 100K. Bitcoin's at where's it sit right now? Let's see. Take a look at the chart and see what it's doing real quick. Looking like it is smacking its head on the 4-hour 200 MA. But yeah, I mean, you could see it here. It dumped on the over the weekend, and now on Monday, boom, boom, boom. Take a look at the daily candle, see what that looks like. Oh wow, big wick to the downside. Looks like it was like like some type of, if you were to try to put a pattern on it of some sort. Looks like we had some stops down here. Looks like we ran stops with this little wick, and then boom, back to the upside. So I have no idea. Things are all over the place. Things are pumping like crazy. People are saying the bull market is back on. What do you think? Drop your your thoughts on it in the comments. Crazy stuff going on. But I have my got some bookmarks to go over. Before we get to my bookmarks in the main news, let's take a look at the calendar, the week schedule for today. Today we had all sorts of base stuff. Just recapping it, we had the whatever morning space at 8 o'clock, that's 8 a.m. ET, along with the Let's Go morning show at 8:30 a.m. ET. Then we moved into Hero Office Hours with Alex Miller. The Bob guys had a power space, so Bob Power Hour around 1 p.m. And then big shout out to Dave and them with the All Things Crypto crew. And then now we are talking about the Organized Nightly with the most base chat. Tomorrow we have the Stacks DeFi show along with our regular, morning space at 8 a.m. and then Let's Go morning show at 8:30 a.m. ET. We have the Stacks DeFi show at 10 a.m. And then at 1 p.m., we have a screen share in the Stacking DAO Discord. We've got the Hermetica Hangout going down tomorrow. Is it tomorrow at 12 p.m.? I'll ask Jackson here. And then we have Art on Stacks at 3 p.m., along with the regular shows. So very, very cool. Let me get over into our regular news segment here. I'll pull up my bookmarks. Let me see if I can replace this screen with another one for ya. Let's see what's going on here. Those are not my bookmarks. What is GP doing? Of course, GP is never prepared. Even though we have a lot of base news going on, of course I don't have my bookmarks, and now I'm clicking the wrong stuff. Forgive me. Of course, I don't ever have my stuff together. It's not like I'm just working nonstop throughout the day, but whatever. Got to the bookmarks. Okay, so this is one that I just saw from Arkham, and you can go follow them at ARKHAM, Arkham. This mega fund is shorting 200 million plus of Bitcoin. Abraxas Capital lost 14.5 million in P&L on their BTC short position in the past day. Abraxas Capital is still short over 450 million of crypto at this address. So you can check out that address there, and it shows you all the buys and sells, distribution, bubble map, heat map, you name it, order book. They got all of that at Arkham. So really love seeing some more shorts coming in. Let's liquidate those bears. Let's go. Coming from the main Stacks handle, and you can follow them at Stacks. STX DeFi season is live. A collaborative launch by leading Stacks BTC5 protocols in partnership with Zeely. Earn from a 50,000 STX reward pool by completing on-chain Bitcoin DeFi quests. Build up your XP. Bigger seasons are coming. You can go check that out at stxdefi.com. Love this little info. This picture here with the button to begin your quest here. Let's see. STX DeFi Season 1 DeFi Summer with Bitcoin Liquidity Protocol, Granite, Runes AMM, and STX Bitflow Finance, you can follow them at Bitflow_finance. Lending Protocol, Zest Protocol, you follow them at Zest Protocol. Stablecoin, Hermetica Fi, yeah, definitely follow Hermetica Fi with USDH, the first Bitcoin-backed stablecoin native to BTC as well. Liquid Stacking with Stacking DAO, Perp Deck with Bellar BTC. This is just the start, more to come. Huge, huge Zeely campaign underway. So go check it out. Get into the know, earn some XP, and potentially win some prizes. Let's go. Coming from the Bitflow camp, and you can follow them, like I said, at Bitflow_finance. Our co-founder, Stacks Developer, that is Dylan's handle. Definitely follow Stacks Developer there. On what excites him most in Bitcoin DeFi. At the end of the day, I think that's what we all want. It's got to be to get more Bitcoin. That's the mission. Everything else is just tools to get there. I love it. Let's listen to what Dylan's got to say here.
In Bitcoin
just
DeFi,
a moment. What you got to say for us? I don't think you guys can hear this. I don't know. Let me see.
Personally is most excited about.
Yeah, it's not.
As we
Dylan,
see more
I appreciate your baseness, sir,
popping
but
up,
I can't hear you, so we'll move on. From the Hermetica camp, and you can follow them at Hermeticafy. Like I said, you definitely want to. Hermetica Hangout is back. This week, we're joined by Built on Bob. So Bob is bringing EVM compatibility to Bitcoin, unlocking a whole new layer of apps, liquidity, and dev tools. The host, DCBK2LA. That is Dave's handle. Definitely follow Dave. He is a based space host. Yes, build_on_Bob. Okay, Bob. Set a reminder, and it is tomorrow at 12 p.m. ET. Very, very cool. Coming from the Zest Protocol camp, and you can follow them at Zest Protocol. Come hang out with the Stacks community in the Zest Town Hall AMA. It's the perfect place to discuss new developments in Stacks, hear Web3 updates, and have fun together. Tune in on Wednesday, the 25th of June at 11 p.m. EST or 5 p.m. CET. Go set your reminders for the space. It is very based. I love seeing the guys get together, have a little fun, do some DJing stuff, and then also talk about updates from within our ecosystem every Wednesday. And then after that, around 1 p.m., we will also be doing a screen share in the Zest Protocol Discord. I am the community manager over there, so get in there. I have plenty of fun stuff and activities to do. Plenty of prizes to win as well. Again, from the Zest Protocol camp, lending in the largest DeFi vertical with nearly 50 billion in TVL. As BTC liquidity gets unlocked, Bitcoin-focused lending protocols stand to benefit the most. That's exactly where Zest comes in. Very based here. As you can see, the lending protocol here, we've got 49.499 billion in this category for protocols. And Zest is exactly that. So, like I said, get into the Zest Protocol Discord, get active. We are incentivizing our content creators. We have daily rumbles as well as Find to Earn bi-weekly. So Find to Earn Fridays bi-weekly at 8 p.m. ET. So get in there, get active, check out the activity schedule. Let's go. Want a shot at 50K STX in prizes plus custom NFTs and more? Join STX DeFi Summer Season 1 featuring guests from Zest and TopStack DeFi app. They are also participating in this, like I said. Tomorrow, okay, this is the big one here, right? So follow Stacking DAO. Don't miss the Stacks DeFi show tomorrow at 10 a.m. ET. The show will feature all the main Stacks DeFi apps and other sharing news, creating a more open and engaging format. Set a reminder so you don't miss it. Love it. And if we look at here, we've got Stacking DAO, we've got Tycho, Philip, Hermetica, Bellar, Arcadico, Zest Protocol, Bitflow, Granite, Roots, all the main builders in this space really getting it done. And I love listening into this space. We also have a screen share in the Stacking DAO Discord tomorrow at 1 p.m. ET. I am the Stacking DAO community manager as well. So jump in there, our Facebook activity schedule where you can earn some SDX. Go get in the know. Again, from the Stacking DAO handle, Stacking DAO is participating in the STX DeFi Summer Season 1. As you know, and here's their little infographic there. Very, very cool. What's happening again from stacking down one last time? What's happening on stacks? Here's everything you need to know about from the last few weeks. Let's check it out. Getting into it, top VCs and investors like Tim Draper, Hivemind, and USV are backing SIP31, seeing the new treasury as a key step for Stack to level up. Tim Draper made his own post about SIP31 here at Munib and at Stack. Very, very cool, very based. Tim Draper and Associates. Go ahead. What's your bad self, Tim? See you. SCX can now be traded on the leading DeFi derivative platform, Polynomial. Polynomial? Yeah, Polynomial. Very, very based here. I'll go ahead and share this. You can follow me at GPSC_STX to find this exact post. BTC STX bidirectional swaps are now live on both Experts Mobile and Extension. Go ahead. Whoop, whoop. Zest released an animated video that explains lending protocol liquidations in a simple, easy to understand way. If you did not watch this, it's worth a go. So I will go ahead and like and share this as well. And Zest liquidations are actually powered by USDH, the first Bitcoin-backed stablecoin coming out of the Hermetica squad. So very, very basic. To enhance the user experience, Stacking Down now displays SBTC stacking rewards in sats by default when the amount is below 0.01 BTC. All right. I like that. Hermetica is launching a new feature for KYC users, allowing them to mint USDH on Bitcoin or stacks by sending USDT or USDC from Ethereum. I love this right here. This was a base little, I want to know more about this. And, big shout out to Jacob. Follow Jacob_BTC. That is Jacob with a K, the Hermetica founder. Very, very base. Love it. Like it. Stacks ecosystem is cooking a fun campaign. Stay tuned. So this is the stxdefi.com Zeely campaign that everybody's been talking about. It is all the rage. So go check it out, guys. Moving on from XCX Watch. Let me pull up this post here. We will be moving from alpha to beta release on July 14th with a massive update in speed, functionality, and crucial stacks data. Opportunities for main sponsors, partners, and time-based adverts will also be starting around the same time, as well as our KYC option for Stack token founders. Salt, the meme coin STX reward token, will also soon be fully integrated to access premium features, as well as other purposes we want to keep a surprise for now. We are super excited for Q3. Thanks to everyone who has been using the alpha version, made suggestions, told us about bugs, or just spread the word. Go ahead. I love this little tool, man. You can check out the liquidity to market cap ratios, which is very cool. Trust scores, all that. So go check out STX Watch. Coming from the Rue handle, and you want to follow that at RueCoinBTC. Very, very base token within our ecosystem. SIP10 assets are your beta plays on STX, and STX is your beta play on Bitcoin. So let's read this. Unleash your wildest creativity and rep the Bob and Rue communities with the dankest memes on the internet. Prize pool, 5,200 Rue and 50K Bob. Winner split into 5. Top 5 memes take the glory and the bag. Builder plus Kangaroo equals meme madness. Tag Bob STX and Bob_STX and at RueCoinBTC. Post your meme, submit on Zero Authority DAO, and win like a legend, Bob or bust. And as you can see, I have liked and shared there, and I will likely partake in this. I'm trying to pack my bags before everything takes off, and SIP10s are all the rage. Yeah, you are early right now, my friends. You are early. Coming from the main Honey Badger account, you can follow that at Honey Badger STX. And man, this guy call some really good alpha. Big shout out to this guy here. Texas SBR is law. He's been talking about this for a while, weeks out before it happened. And then, of course, what happened? It becomes law. So Texas has an SBR, and now they are going to start accumulating Bitcoin. And I do believe if, we've got Schiff in the house. I think they're the first one. So this is going to be a ripple effect. This is going to be like dominoes. The rest of the states will get their own SBR, etc. Let's go. Moving on into the main news from Cointelegraph. Update: Circle's stock surge nearly 600% since its IPO, pushing its market cap above both Coinbase and USDC, which is crazy. Um, I think their ticker is CRCL for their stock. Cool. Alert: 66 of the top traders on the Hyperliquid are currently short, signaling bear sentiment across the platform. Let's wreck those bears. Latest: BlackRock sold 8,172 ETH worth 18.4 million. So let's go. ETH was the testnet. They are cheaper, more secure, faster options than ETH now. So why even do that? We've got real Bitcoin DeFi in stacks. New: Coinbase will add support for Sonic. Previously FTM Phantom, now rebranded as Sonic. So there you go. There. Latest: short interest in U.S. stocks has jumped to 4.2%, the highest since 2020, as more investors bet against the market near record highs. Big: the Federal Reserve has officially removed the reputational risk factor that penalized Bitcoin and crypto. So let me reread this. Federal Reserve Board announces that reputational risk will no longer be a component of examination programs in its supervision of banks. That is a signal, if there is one, in the market right now. That one right there, the SBR for Texas, is also a signal. Very, very base. So banks holding crypto or custodying crypto for people. Not a big reputational ding. Let's go. Alert: 403 million liquidated from the crypto market in the past 24 hours. It has seen some volatility with the macro uncertainty going on with the macro. Is there a war going to happen? What is going on? Estimated leverage ratio plunged to 0.25 in just 3 days as the traders exit a risk amid U.S.-Iran tensions, marking the fastest drop since the 2021 China ban. Wow. Saw that, read that. Trump Media, DJT, authorizes 400 million stock buyback, fully separate from its 2.3 billion Bitcoin treasury strategy, which remains unchanged. And then this is the last one I think I'm going to cover. Global M2 money supply is on the rise. Will Bitcoin follow? When there is no top for M2 money supply, there is no top for Bitcoin. So let that be in mind. Keep that in the back of your head. Polymarket users predict a 42% chance Bitcoin will hit 95K and below this month. All right. And well deposits 4.28 million USDC into Hyperliquid and opens a 101 million ETH long with 25x leverage. This guy thinks it's alt season right now. So I've got some base chads in the house. I don't want to keep them waiting for too much more. Yes, I am DeOrganized. Let's see. I'll stop sharing my screen and let me bring the base chads on. Tonight we have Shiftlet in the house. We got Crypto Dude in the house. We've got our beloved Peace Love Music, and we've got Legend of Stacks Legends, Jack and Switch in the house. What's up, fellas? Happy Monday. How are we feeling?
Feels good, bro.
Good.
Feels good like the meme.
Yeah, we'll take it. How you fellas doing tonight?
Jack, I'm feeling great, dude. I'm feeling bullish, and I've been thinking about that post that you made saying you're holding on to something that got you really bullish on the ecosystem. If you're bullish, then I'm feeling bullish as well.
Oh, massively bullish.
I like it.
Yeah, we got some other fellows in the chat who have the same alpha, and what it is it's something that, because we're gonna have the full announcement here shortly, but it's something that is massive no matter what the sentiment is. It's usable no matter what the sentiment is. And whenever you have something like that come into an ecosystem, that's like the perfect protocol, right? Like that's what you ain't worried about boom cycles. You're not worried about bust cycles. You're just worried about usability, excitement, fun, all the things that we like to do. And yeah, it's exciting. Can't wait.
DGenActivities.btc. I got that BNS, and I'm gonna put it to good use.
Did you got that before Darth scooped you on it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
No fade Darth, dude. He'll have that shit immediately.
Dude, he's got almost 1,000 BNS names.
Do not utter any good ideas out loud for BNS names.
Yeah, don't even name your project like at all. Like if you're gonna have a launch, don't name your project. He's gonna snipe it.
Don't name your project.
Yeah, dude. And then you're gonna have to throw a 1 or a 2 or a 3 in your shit.
It's like early runes.
Exactly, dude. It's exactly what it feels like. And he is hyper bullish on BNS names. We have Ace in the house. What's up, Ace? How are we doing? Might still be working on the connectivity there, but we see you, Ace, and welcome tonight, man. I hope your Monday is very much.
It looks like we got the CIA in the house.
I was just about to say that. I was like, "Uh-oh, CIA dropped in and out. Uh-oh."
Oh shit, dude.
There's no way the CIA would have been stuck in an airport for 2 nights in a row. Unless that was all just a cover. They shut down the airport just to give him cover for showing up late. No, but Schiff actually had some really interesting alpha that turned out to be on point, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the strategic Bitcoin reserve, bro, for Texas, which is huge, dude.
What is Texas, like the 3rd largest economy in the world? It's outrageous.
It's gonna be incredible, and now they're announcing. Well, that was a CoinDesk article, but they're gonna do 10 million. So they're gonna be the first one with an SBR to actually buy Bitcoin. New Hampshire and Arizona just have SBRs established.
Yeah.
Pretty giant, man. And then, like, you know, it just feels like if Texas has one and they're the first, are they the first state to have one? Like, all the way through and through?
They're the 3rd one. However, once they buy, they'll be the first one to buy out of the states that already have one.
That's giant. That's massive. Think about, like, so there was this one, I forget the name of them, but they were working on, like, tokenizing beef. Right, and then think about. I would imagine that would, like, yeah. Think about buying some beef, buying some cattle, and like setting up your ranch and all that stuff, and you can do it all with Bitcoin. Right. Texas is it's like a major. That's what they got going on over there. There's a lot of ranchers, a lot of farmers.
Didn't Wagner have some ranchers on or something?
I think that's who it was. Yeah,
they were doing something about like that were tied to Bitcoin. I forget exactly the whole story. It was very interesting, though. They were financing their operation with Bitcoin.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the initiative, but the guy who behind it, he's been doing this for a while. And when they incorporated Bitcoin into the business, that was very exciting. And that's what we need to see more of. That's why we need to see so many much less regulations. Like the regulatory shit has to stop. Like let's turn this on and just go. You know, like forget about it. There's no reason to keep dragging our feet.
They're no longer like giving you a knock on your, you know, your record, like your reputation. If you're a bank and you support crypto, that's a big one. That's a signal, right? You know, so I wonder what comes from that. Like, do we want to go around and kind of like speculate what that means? Like, you know, banks can no longer worry about being unreputable for having crypto assets.
I think they're worried about becoming irrelevant at this point.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
I don't think that happens rapidly, though.
You think
more quickly than you think. All it takes is some massive sentiment from some disillusionment, and we just experienced some of that, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, over the weekend, dude, with U.S. bombing Iran, and then like Bitcoin taking a plunging through 100K, and then back up to 105K.
A lot of people elected or voted for Trump because he was, you know, trying to say peace in the Middle East and whatnot, right? Didn't he campaign on that a lot? And then it just makes a unilateral decision to go ahead and bomb Iran. It's kind of against the Constitution, congressional oversight, and all that stuff. So it's a little bit odd.
You don't have to like go through the Congress to bomb but you have to go through Congress to declare war, right? But
Well, bombing another country is an act of war.
You can
yeah, I see. That's the way that they said it. Like,
If somebody bombed America, would we be like, oh no, that's not an act of war? Of course, it would be an act of war.
of course,
No,
it's an act.
but you're talking about from a legal standpoint in the framework of the Constitution and the U.S. government, the president has the authorization to, I think it's up to 60 days or 90 days
Yeah, it's
for the
60,
military.
30-day extension.
But I agree. I didn't vote for bombs being dropped where like my tax dollars.
I vote with my wallet. I don't vote in a system where I can't audit the votes. And I mean, come on.
You can't audit the fucking votes.
Right.
I didn't agree with the
You guys
I didn't
totally votes count. Yeah.
I didn't agree with the means by which we got where we are. Yeah, because when that happened over the weekend, I was like, oh fuck, here we go again. But now that bombing their nuclear sites actually leads to an Israeli and Iranian ceasefire, I was like, well, I mean, I guess we wouldn't have gotten a ceasefire otherwise if we didn't blow up the nuclear sites.
Yeah.
So, here we are now.
Right. He's calling it the 12 Days War, and he had that talking point already in his back pocket, it seems. So as soon as they announced the ceasefire, it was all like they had the talking points ready. They had a plan with this. I mean, you don't know how it's going to go. There's variables there, but this was
no casualties.
It'd be funny if the $2 billion allocated for Bitcoin under the DJT Media Group, if they bought when it dipped down to 98,000 due to the nuclear site strikes. That's when they timed their $2 billion buy for the company, and now it's back up to 105. That'd be hilarious.
What's the percentage gain? Like 5% on that? Yeah, that's crazy, man. How it just dipped, and then there was no casualties on either side. Like, this is definitely to strike the fear into.
There were no human casualties.
That's what I read somewhere. I don't know how accurate that was, but I don't think there was any casualties on either side. Because Iran went and bombed Qatar, U.S. military bases in Qatar after that, right?
They missed.
They missed.
They
telegraphed it ahead of time. The defensive SAM systems that took out all the incoming missiles.
Yeah, so it's
So is this all just proof of burn of taxpayer dollars, or what are we talking about?
Right. When you bring it down to brass tacks. That's exactly right.
I saw that take on the timeline too. It's my tax dollars are bombing my tax dollars. What's going on?
It's better this way than another 20-year a conflict in the Middle East. If it's just 12 days of a little chaos and now we're good. I mean, that's better than another 20 years of just kind of nonsense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, but what's to say that just because there's declaring a ceasefire right now doesn't mean that there's any lasting peace out of this.
Yeah, that's the problem. All politics, politically based solutions are based on violence, and so when you have something that's based on violence, it's not sustainable. You actually have to have an alignment of incentives for sustained peace.
It's sustainable if you are okay with justifying the use of further violence.
Yeah, exactly. Dude.
Yeah, I mean,
we could potentially enter a rabbit hole of the fiat monetary system and how fiat actually incentivizes this behavior. And Bitcoin 100%. Actually makes you take pause.
That's like surface level at this point for everybody in the room, right?
Yeah,
that's the design. That's the design. It's to fund war through debt, which can never actually be repaid. So you get
that was the birth of fractional reserve banking, was to finance a war.
Right, financing the kings.
Yeah. That's where it all starts, man. Fiat's awful. And that's why we need to get away from the system, and we need to make our government a lot smaller and a lot less centralized. And I don't know. I hate the government with a
We just
burning
need
passion.
we need point of sale terminals so we can get end-to-end, cryptographic economy rolling, and then we can programmatically control how those funds are baked into the service fee, and so we can, kind of customize and tailor our own tax code, so to speak, voluntarily, and just smart contracts for the win, basically. Smart contract better than social contract. That's the solution here. Everybody needs to wake up to that.
Yeah, I mean, it was attempted before, right? But then, like, somebody, like, fumbled that a little bit. I don't want to
Social
go
contract.
back.
Social
Was that-
contracts the social contract is enforced by literal force, right? And smart contracts are enforced by math and distribution of that math, basically. So
We just need the right person to create this, man. Not fumble the ball.
People, the right people.
Yeah.
yeah, we're
Satoshi could only do so much, right?
everybody's playing their part.
I agree. Like it's going in the right direction, and people are starting to wake up little by little. And a lot more people are privy than they were just 2 years ago. Whenever I entered the space, so I can see that crypto is mainstream news now. So it's only a matter of time until everything is a little bit better. People aren't so broke, and then they're FOMOing, and then the vicious cycle repeats. But I agree. Like decentralize everything. Take more power away from the government. So then, like I agree that I didn't vote for fucking more, and I voted this year. I rarely ever vote, and I voted this year, and I didn't vote for more.
The overwhelming majority of the population is anti-war.
Yeah.
That's why all the successful, candidates that win always try and
say that they're not going to go to war.
Yeah, they use pro-peace rhetoric to secure votes. I mean, it's kind of government is literally force, and so we need to build the change by building peaceful solutions that help people align their incentives and have the dynamic updatability, so that way when there is bad actors, people can disassociate and just go, okay, I'm going to put my money behind this entity or organization, and we can find a solution that way, because it's all about like the monopolies on services that the government have. So they have monopolies on services like security and
money creation, the authorized use of violence to the initiation of force to compel compliance.
Yeah, there's all sorts of monopolies that they have, not just on the monopoly on the use of force, but they also have monopoly on not everywhere, but lots of places they have it where firefighting, hospitals, all that is racketeered basically, and so we need solutions that basically disrupt those rackets, and unfortunately, because we're getting squeezed massively on the prices of everything because of monopolization.
In other words, your government is the mafia. That's
dude.
I don't even. I look at it. There's probably most definitely malicious actors that are in there, but I also look at it like it's just an alignment of incentives of its own perverted nature, right? They are disconnected from the market because they have a monopoly on force, so they have the ability to manipulate via that force, so they exercise it.
The purpose, so really what government is, though, is it's not just the initiation of force, or it doesn't have to be, and that doesn't necessarily even have to be the tool, but it's an organizational structure. It's how we organize society, and there's got to be a way to do it, or there's probably many ways to do it. But what we really need to do, because we're not going to have zero governance. There's going to be established rules of order.
I think it's all about whether or not the participation is predicated on coercion or voluntary consent.
Right.
It makes it whether or not it's ethical or not.
You can add an opt-out function, an opt-out feature where you can, if you don't agree with what the government's doing, you can withdraw and actually engage in other forms of governance that will kind of
represent you.
represent right.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the idea of the network state, which is probably going to be governed in a system similar to DAOs via smart contracts, to get back to what Crypto Dude was saying. You know?
Oh yeah,
Right.
it's going to be an overlapping ecosystem of smart contracts with different players in them, and you know, basically the notion of, I think, traditional states and nations. I think that's. I mean, I think it feels like they're like clinging on, right? I mean,
Right. It does.
Well, so this is I don't think the goal is to kind of completely. They don't have to go away to become
they need to update.
less relevant. Or they can just kind of become less relevant in their impact over time. So they'll be transcended broadly by other mechanisms where they'll just kind of fade away slowly. They're not going to be.
I get what you're saying. It's not going to be a rug pull, because that's not how people operate traditionally, especially in
their
sectors of the economy.
function will become the methods by which they achieve their function will become obsolete with better new ways to do that, and those new ways will be adopted, and they'll just become really largely unnecessary.
100%.
But it's a long time. Like, this isn't happening in a decade, you know. But we are on.
Depends on how. I would beg to differ on that. It depends on how beneficial those new systems are to the users. Because if your choice is like, oh, do I want to put money behind this entity or keep getting my arm twisted behind it? Like, even if it means sacrificing a little bit more in the short term to start getting ahead in the long term.
So. Part of it, there's a huge part of our society that is very, very distracted, and the methods by which they're distracted are actually constantly indoctrinating them further into this current system and perpetuating it by all means necessary, much to their immediate short-term and long-term detriments. But they're still stuck in these things, and so I think it's going to take a long time.
You mean my thoughts aren't my thoughts because I watch TikTok? Fuck. Damn it.
If you fix the money, you fix everything else, because fiat forces one to think paycheck to paycheck and force short-term thinking, whereas Bitcoin creates a savings mindset, which means you start thinking long-term and you start seeing through the bullshit, because propaganda keeps you in the short term.
I think we are taking steps in the right direction. You know, with Bitcoin and crypto and an alternative means of money that is open and transparent and not subject to being a huge vector for fraud and abuse, which our current monetary system is undeniably so. So,
big facts.
We have that mechanism here. It's being adopted we have institutional adoption happening before our eyes, to the point where $1.1 billion last week flowed into Bitcoin ETFs. Then they shook the markets with a war, and we've already rebounded in a day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, supply shock's going to be a thing, right? I mean, that for one. Yeah, that's unavoidable, and I think there's a lot of paper Bitcoin floating around even now, but that game can only go on for so long. But you know, the reality is, people are starting to understand why they're struggling, and they're struggling because their money is just absolute shit. It's lost about 100% of its value since.
And their government is absolute shit.
Right. So. What do you do? Do you hoard gold? Some people opt to do that. But there's something better than gold, and it's called Bitcoin. And that's, unfortunately, retail hasn't caught on to that yet. And it does pain me to see the institutions grabbing it all up, even though it's hard to think of something that costs $105,000 as being cheap, but they're getting it a lot cheaper than when retail is ultimately going to wind up getting it at this rate. And the thing is, if you have a little bit of Bitcoin now, you're going to be in a great situation. And that's why like, what's so cool about stacks, when you think that this is an asset where you can, especially at these prices, where you can get stacks and you can stake them and you can earn Bitcoin just passively, just passively earn Bitcoin, and you don't have to go any way past that. But there's obviously other ways to do it. But people should be looking towards something. People need to get with the program in terms of where this all can go. And that's why building on Bitcoin is such a big deal, because there's going to be a lot of different commercial uses for different blockchains and so forth. But at this point, it's clear that Bitcoin is its own entity, its own thing in terms of every other crypto. And if you can combine the best things about crypto with Bitcoin, that's even better. That's the foundation you want to build on. But people have to start paying attention. It's I don't know why it's so hard to get people's attention, especially when they're hurting. But it's just, I think it starts with people just not even understanding how their money works in general. You honestly still have people who think their money's backed by gold, like,
or don't ever even consider it.
Right.
People don't consider anything about it. They just know that the money, if they work if they can earn this much money, they can have this kind of lifestyle. And that's, right. And then so they're chasing earnings and never actually understand how the game works.
And chasing earnings is really biting people in the ass right now, because you can't, you can make a plan and say, oh, I'm going to earn this much and I'm going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And then 10 years later, it's like, oh, wait, no, I can't. Earnings haven't caught up with why is my money so useless?
Right.
It's because the corporations are so greedy.
People think that they'll just keep earning, and I'll make more money, I'll get a better job, I'll increase my living standard that way. But you're really just playing keep up. You're struggling to keep up for the whole time if that's where you are. You're not
105 to 95 is not much of a dip. I mean, it's funny. That's a good post, but I mean, come on.
I think that it's a damn good fucking funny meme, dude. New achievement unlocked gives me nostalgia from the old Xbox days, right? Like, Bloom, you got this new achievement, Diamond Balls. But you're right, it wasn't really much of a dip. But hey, please, to each its own. So this guy, Lark Davis, Crypto Bros, who held through the dip, unlocked a new achievement called Diamond Balls. Just saw that on the timeline. Thought I'd share that with you for a second, fellas. But yeah, there's some Diamond Balls for you on your screen.
Yeah, those maybe for the boomers who finally dipped their toes in the water, but
that's what it is.
Bro. Not for a crypto bro.
Yeah,
that wasn't shit.
No.
Oh God, no, that wasn't. Yeah, that was, especially with how fast it came back.
Right.
Was that their first achievement unlocked? They were like, old man sounds. I guess the chart was like this, and then it bounces back.
Try buying this shit.
That down already for a young guy. Do the old guy thing again. Do that. Yeah, that's good, man.
Try buying this shit when everyone thinks you're crazy, because the news keeps on telling them it's a bunch of tulips, and you're watching it approach $3,000, and because of COVID, and it's just completely crashing out. That's your Diamond Balls. Okay, if you're gonna give a Diamond Ball achievement, there it is.
Taken.
Yeah, those are cubic zirconia balls at best.
I need a diamond tester for them fucking balls.
Right.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh well. So macro environment. Looks like Iran and there's ceasefiring and like there's a little dip. The boomers got their first achievement from since getting exposure to Bitcoin. What else is happening, fellas? That's been interesting. We got potentially we have the SIP 31 vote starting on Wednesday-ish, is what I'm hearing. We've got like New Zealand campaign for stacks for all the major protocols are taking place in it. Like, what's going on? Like, what do we think is interesting?
Yeah, Zealand campaigns are kind of fun. Played a couple around. They're easy to do. Go ahead, Jack.
SIP 31 is obviously the most important.
Right.
Zealy campaigns are great, and it's a good strategy to try to get people in. Because again, when we're talking about if you don't have a whole lot going on, it's always good to have something to do. And a Zealy campaign is great for onboarding people into the different protocols and so forth. But SIP 31 is a game changer. SIP 31 is a game changer. Let's fund this bitch.
Yeah.
Let's fund this bitch and let's roll. Like I'm tired of having to compete with other networks that did not worry about things like trying to be compliant with those bunch of douchebags at the SEC, under a hostile crypto regime, right? Like,
and now everything's different. Yeah, I get that.
Now everything's different. So now let's compete. Let's really we've already got the best community in the game. We're doing shit with Bitcoin that people talk about being able to do one day. We're already doing it.
Like, it's already here.
So bring on the funding. Let's get this show on the road. It's easily, in my opinion, the most important thing that's happened in this ecosystem.
By a million.
Since
we've had some big sips, okay? Yeah. This SBTC was a big sip. The Nakamoto was a pretty big sip. There have been a few in the last year. Nothing came anywhere near the engagement that this SIP has generated. If certain things hadn't happened, our price action would be a lot better than it is right now, too. Facts are facts. We had some really bad luck in the ecosystem for something that had nothing to do with the actual value of the ecosystem that dragged our price down too. So what you saying?
All alts bled, but I agree. Like, look, this is a good take. If STX can fund its building community, everyone pictured, to ensure their time is free from fiat mining, that would be huge. Dude, we got the most based builders building on Bitcoin via stacks. And I'm telling you, let the boys have some freedom, let them do what they do, and give them some funding so they can run. Simple. And I think that people are starting to formulate their ideas of what they're going to propose for this endowment, and it's going to be huge whenever we see the guys that have been building here off of just passion building and eating and I don't mean this in an offensive way, but drinking water and surviving off of saltines when it comes to funding things. Anyways, the incentive rails are getting built and they're getting structured, and I love the process and how we put together the appointment committee, which is tasked with putting the people on the treasury committee. So I think that everything was pretty fair, and I like to see what's going to come from it. I think that this is going to be, it's been referenced this way a few different times, rocket fuel for stacks. And this is your time. If you're able to get a sub-dollar stacks, dude, you better be accumulating. If you take a look at the chart at where people and that's what me and Darth Dude did this weekend.
I got stacks at 53 cents this morning, man.
Fucking sick, dude. Sick. All smart money is accumulating down here, meaning Tim Draper and his boys, the people that he's connected with, smart money, people with big facts.
Not financial advice, by the way. Do your own research and all of that, but
yeah,
if you know anything about it, you should definitely look at the stacks ecosystem if you're looking for good projects building with good tech and good people building on Bitcoin.
Yeah,
53 is the new 20.
Yeah.
I'm no financial analyst by no means, but if you don't see the value in unlocking the Bitcoin economy via stacks right now, you're like Stevie Wonder
But
blind.
you're not a financial analyst, but are you a financial analyst?
I'm not an advisor, an
Is that what
analyst.
OnlyFans girls get put on their business cards?
Yeah, all they have to do is capitalize the ANAL
Holy shit.
analyst.
That's so fucking funny.
But in all
You play the
seriousness,
keys.
it
I'm
goes
a pianist.
it goes so far beyond funding, like, indie devs and builders and infrastructure within the ecosystem, but there's a cost of doing business in this space, period. And it allows us to operate at that level as well. Like, you want to see STX on Dex Screener, you want to see SIP10s on Dex Screener, you want to see SIP10s on major tier 1 exchanges. As much as I hate them, I detest them, they're still not irrelevant. They're still way more relevant than I'd like them to be.
Right, that's where your main people that are green to crypto don't know anything about DeFi. That's where they're going to get exposure to your project.
You need massive amounts of deep liquidity to attract big name, big budget projects to this space. Like, and really, it's you can't overstate the importance. Now at this point, so I like SIP 31. I really like how the appointments committee was operated, and I like the selections that were made. And now the next thing, like, if you break this down piece by piece, the next thing is getting the right treasury committee. You have to have the right people on the treasury committee. This is what decentralized governance looks like. With getting back to our earlier conversation about there's got to be a better way. Well, this is like literally taking steps towards that better way. The things we're doing right now is figuring out how people in the future are going to do this shit, ideally. So the next step is, because really, when you're looking at a treasury committee for something like this, you're really almost looking at like people who are there to represent the community. It's almost like a form of representation, like you'd see ideally in government, right? So that's important. That's the next step. I encourage everyone to stay super engaged in this process, because this is massively important. Like Peace said, this is the biggest thing so far, and we've got the tech.
It has the potential,
to
really blow up the ecosystem. Like, there's a lot of talent here that has been building some really cool stuff on a shoestring, and there's, we already have a really very functional Bitcoin DeFi ecosystem now. It just needs to be able to grow. And so with that, we just need to be able to spend that money the right way.
Right.
And I really think that, based on the process for selecting the appointments committee and the people that came out that actually were appointed, I feel very comfortable with the direction it's all going in. I do believe that the intent is to have a broad representation, to try to serve the broader interests of all of the people that are building and doing things here across the spectrum. I feel very confident that it's going to go well.
Yeah, I agree. We just got to stay engaged. Like,
it's work.
That's what has been the change since the first of the year. Like, the community's engaged. Okay, every action has a reaction. Our reaction was the roadmap, and then the action you have to take is, okay, you want the roadmap? We need SIP 31 in order to get, so now we have to vote on SIP 31. And then we had so much participation around the appointments committee. Now we just have to keep doing what we're doing and get the right treasury committee, and the sky's the limit. Like, there's a lot of one-hit wonders out there that aren't going to amount to anything. And one thing that we don't talk about very much is the resilience of the Stacks ecosystem. The Stacks ecosystem has been tested. It has been tested. It has got history. It has got lore. And it's still new to the vast majority of people on Earth. So, like, that's a lot to be bullish about.
Yeah, I feel like everything is getting tuned up right now, right? Like we've seen the UI, like a lot of the time you would talk about like how the user experience, like where it's choppy and it's like not so clean and all of that stuff. All of that has been getting enhanced over the last 6 months, right? Like we're getting better and better UI. Got fast blocks with Bitcoin finality. Got post conditions keeping people safe in our blockchain. Like there's so much going for our ecosystem with
Not to
a real grassroots community, like real deal degens that are out here. Thank you, Steve.
But I'm telling you, that little bit of alpha that you guys going to be hearing about soon, it's one of those things coming to Stacks that gets attention from everybody. Gets attention from everybody. It's just a sign of what's to come. And
right, that's also something that
you
like
just keep teasing us.
Yeah, man.
I know on the alpha that some campaign coming in July. I hope it's not this alpha.
you have an idea of what it is, Zinni?
Oh, I just know like different projects like from Stacks presented, but I hope it's not the alpha.
No, it's gonna be fun for everybody.
Yeah,
it's gonna be badass. And it's something that is like not necessarily like it's speculative, right? It gives people speculate on whatever you want, right? So there's a little bit there. I think that it'll be fun even in a lull, and I think that it's going to be something that will kind of bridge the gap between all communities. So
yeah, well, then it's something that it you guys will see as soon as the green light's lit, it's on, and it's gonna be a good time. But I think that again, like what we need streaming on Stacks, we need more games on Stacks. We can do all of these things, and it's coming. Like this is look, there's no reason why Stacks won't be a top 5 token. Like there's no excuse for it not to be. Everything is lining up in the right direction, including the fact that Bitcoin's gonna be a lot harder to get. Bitcoin's gonna be a lot more expensive, and Bitcoin is the reason that Stacks exists. Like Stacks literally couldn't exist without Bitcoin, and that's a strong foundation to build on.
Yeah, bringing programmability to Bitcoin. We got a decentralized wrap Bitcoin asset, like that's being adopted in multiple blockchains. Like, I feel like Stacks is the bridge from other blockchains to Bitcoin. So we shall see, man. We've got base builders, a bullish community, bullish roadmap, and now we have the rocket fuel. So, guys, we are getting around that hour mark. So I just wanted to go around the room and then I know this has been a really awesome conversation getting to kick it with you guys. I love our Monday shows where we're all together and we're just like, yeah, we're pumped. We got the energy from the weekend, right? And then we're finishing Monday off strong. We got to talk a little bit about like the macro, situations that happened over the weekend. A little bit of a dip, pump back to the 105K level for Bitcoin. SIP 31. We covered a few different things. So I just wanted to go around the room one last time and get like any final thoughts, any final additions to the conversation, final frequencies you want to put out to the ethos. Shameless shows, you name it, like you got it. And Jack, I wanna give you the floor and any final statements on like the conversation tonight, man?
No, I mean I really hope that this bullshit in the Middle East is over. I think that people as a whole really don't want to live in a world where they have to worry about bombs falling on their heads. I don't think that's a bold statement to make. And I think that it's probably a lot easier to get there if we could decentralize the power structures that exist in this world, and that's ultimately what we're sitting here building towards. And it's not going to happen overnight, but it's as good of a goal, as worthwhile of a goal as I can think of. And one of the ways that's really going to make this possible is by fixing the money, and Bitcoin is the way to fix the money. And in order to maximize what Bitcoin's capable of, you have to be able to scale Bitcoin. And Stack stands alone as the best solution today to scale Bitcoin, to build financial infrastructure on Bitcoin. And from here, we just keep doing what we're doing, and let's try to make this world a better place, not just for our families, but for our communities, our neighbors, our countries, and so forth.
I agree. I mean, I think that building towards peace is a very good plan. Definitely feel that. You guys definitely give Jack a follow at Jack and Switch. And stay in the know, man. I think that we've all done our fair deal of people throwing scary shit at us and trying to shake us out of our bags. It's time for something that is going to innovate the way we interact and promotes peace, and that is Bitcoin. So building on Bitcoin is base builders build on Bitcoin. Simple as that. Crypto dude, any final thoughts? Any final frequencies you want to put out to the ethos? Simplest shows. You got the floor, man.
Yeah, we have been hammering on BoostX V2, getting people the ability to set referrals and sponsors and their extension options, so that way everybody can start earning for onboarding. Basically, this is our kind of our incentive flywheel for onboarding. So that way, you as a user will be able to recruit some other users, have them set your name as a referral name, then you can start earning a 10% of the service fee for the users that are using that you onboarded. As they use it, you earn basically. And so it's been obviously taking a little bit longer than anticipated, but that was kind of adapting to some changes in the model that we had to make. But the other features we have coming online are, Zenitron has the Skullcoin profile page. We have integration with that to have some deeper integration there. We have a bunch of other stuff coming for V2, but the main thing for V2 is just getting it to where there's a better alignment of incentives between the users and onboarding, so we can, keep pushing the ball basically further. We also have, plans for, integrating with Freegear's Fast Pool for, basically being able to, instead of transfer your principal, being able to transfer stacked yield basically. And, we think that'll be huge for lowering the resistance to actual use and increasing the use.
I think that's going to be fun to see, how BoostX can further integrate with other things within the ecosystem. I know that you and Rosar had a conversation over the weekend, which I was bullish on. Hey, you see this building going on over here, and I was just like, you know what, this guy and this guy, we have a group chat. Let's have a a rebrief and then see what can come from it, right? So I think that BoostX is dope, dude.
Yeah, you most definitely hooked it up with that combo. Because I didn't even realize Rosar was building that out. So he's basically got a prices API set up for Stacks assets, so we can. It's one of our to-dos that we've had on the roadmap for BoostX is basically facilitating the exchange rates during when you're opening the modal, so you can see kind of what the token you're transferring, what its USDH and or SBTC rate is of the token, right? Get a little bit more informed decision of how much you're tipping. And so we're going to be leveraging that.
That's going to be fun to have that tool as well. And then what other goodies can come from it, right? Just let your mind wander for a little bit, guys, if you're watching this, and pay attention, stay in the know with DeOrganized. Of course, definitely follow BoostX_app. Stay in the know. This is what Crypto Dude is referring to. Definitely follow Charisma BTC. Happy to announce we're introducing our own Stacks SIP10 pricing API for the ecosystem today. Go ahead, Crypto Dude.
I was going to also add that now that basically the BNS v2 zone file update has taken place, we'll also be having the search by BNS in your browser Omni search field, so you can be able to search by BNS names to resolve to their X profile page based on the defined records.
That's gonna be sick. Okay, so you'll be able to what will people have to type in? You want to kind of get into that just a bit before we close. You'll be able to.
Yeah, so you'll be able to define your zone file to point to your X profile page, and then people will be able to type in BNS space gpsc.btc in their browser once they have BoostX installed, and then it'll resolve to your actual X profile page.
Right on, man. I love the base building that you're doing, Crypto Dude, and it's gonna be sick when everything comes together. I know that you've been hammering hard. We lost you for about 2 weeks there. We were chiming in in DMs yo, you good? It's hammering, bro. You know what's up? And I was like, okay, dude. As people were asking about you, I'm glad that you're you got some time to come kick it with the community again, and I look forward to seeing all your updates and
when I go quiet, it's hammer time basically.
Yeah,
and
just
then I come back.
just like MC Hammer, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's hammer time. Let's go.
Exactly.
So I had people in the DMs asking, so I had to check on my boy. Zenny, any final thoughts, final frequencies, shameless chills? What we got going on tonight, man? How we feeling?
Yeah, well, I wish the peace to the whole world. That's all. Yeah. I'm going to sleep soon, so
Thank you.
maybe I know some alpha, but I'm silent as the grave. So follow Jack. Okay, good night, everyone.
Good night, Zenny. Thank you for coming through to kick it with us, bro. I appreciate you coming through. And fellas, you guys have a blessed rest of your night. Ace, are you there with us? I want to.
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, we got Ace. Ace, any final thoughts? Any closing frequencies?
Good evening, guys. Yeah, same. Peace to the Middle East. I shout out to Jacob over at Bob Built on Bitcoin. He was utilizing BoostX this afternoon, airdropping Bob to people harassing the ETH holders and with Vitalik bombs in some of their posts. So I was a beneficiary. I appreciate that. Having a lot of fun. Got the Bob burn going on at what is it? Fact.fun or Fact Fun. Burning a Bob a day. There's some promotions that he's talking about rewarding people for being a part of it. It's a Genesis getting started, so go check it out. No, I'm there's so much going on. I'm really excited to hear what's behind what Jack was talking about. Like what you said, GP, you really have to be blind and really not know what you're looking at to not get excited about what Stacks has going on. I mean, it's just the offering is so insane. It's just and at the price that it's at, it's really just unbelievable with all the solutions that are here and what more is coming. It's just grateful to be here, getting a little, just really excited. So glad to be here and, hope everyone's having a good time and getting themselves positioned.
Damn,
not
Skippy,
financial
man.
Advice.
I'll say it here, man. Like everybody else, nobody else wants to give you financial advice. GP will give you unofficial financial advice. Get yourself some stack, pack your bags. We're going to the moon. This endowment's rocket fuel. We got a real grassroots community. SIP 31. I'm voting yes. Let's go. Fellas, thank you for an awesome night and happy Monday. We're gonna be grinding hard this week, so keep the frequency high. Keep loving the room. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for coming through.
Later.
All right, guys.
And this has been another based episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars into the same room to discuss the latest Bitcoin news, the world news, alpha fresh and hot off the presses, you name it, we got it. Be sure to tune in to the DeOrganized Let's Go morning show at 8:30 a.m. ET, Monday through Friday, along with the DeOrganized Nightly segment at 7 p.m. ET. We have some base stuff going on, right? Some base building within our ecosystem. Be sure to go check out DeOrganized.media, set up your profile, and go visit the show schedule to stay in the know about the podcast and spaces happening within our ecosystem. I'm your boy GP with DeOrganized Media, and I am going to go eat a Sammy. I'm hungry. I've been working hard today. And, keep loving the room, guys. Keep the frequency high. We're going to bigger, better places very, very soon. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.